This is Real News Media TV, coverage you can trust. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates. Epileptic elderly man shot in Westmoreland. An elderly man was shot and injured after gunmen traded bullets in Vietnam District White House in Westmoreland on Wednesday morning. The police's corporate communications unit confirmed the incident. Reports from residents are that shortly after 8 a.m., they heard about 10 gunshots that they believed were aimed at killing a former most wanted man in a neighboring community. During the crossfire, the elderly man who was sitting in a chair on his veranda was shot in his leg. The man is believed to be in his late 60s. The news understands that the injured man was rushed to the Black River Hospital by his friend, where he was admitted and is undergoing treatment. Requesting anonymity, a relative told the news that she had a strong feeling something bad was going to happen on Wednesday morning. "Me dream it last night and me did a cry out to God," the woman said. She added that when she got the news, she was not as frightened because her family member is a Christian. The woman disclosed that the injured man has epilepsy and has been ailing for some time. She described this morning incident as sad. Taxi operators' bail extended in Manchester mob killing case. Orlando Powell, the Manchester taxi operator charged with murder in relation to the May 6 mob killing of 61-year-old Shifty Campbell, had his bail extended when he appeared in the Manchester Parish Court on Wednesday. Campbell, who was described as a well-respected citizen and a dedicated community member of Victoria Town in southern Manchester, died after a crowd of people beat him on Lower Manchester Road. Powell, who is said to have mistakenly identified Campbell as a thief, was offered a bail on June 2 in the sum of $500,000. His attorney, Yolanda Kiffin, told the news that a committal hearing which was set for Wednesday was postponed to October 26 as a post-mortem report is outstanding. Powell is to return to court on October 26. 3-year-old boy among 4 shot at a shop in St. James, 2 succumbed. A 3-year-old St. James boy is nursing a gunshot wound, and an elderly hotel worker remains hospitalized following a gun attack at a shop in the community of Goodwill in the parish. 4 persons were shot, 2 fatally in the attack. The deceased have been identified as a 33-year-old Kenny Llewellyn and a 38-year-old former national cricketer Vinroy Crooks. The news was informed by the police that Crooks, who was hit several times, is suspected to be the target of the attack, which occurred on Tuesday afternoon. A motive is being investigated. It is reported that about 2:45 p.m., Crooks and Llewellyn were among 4 persons at a shop located in a section of Goodwill called a Culvert. It is further reported that a silver motor vehicle with 4 men aboard drove up. 3 of them reportedly exited the car and opened fire. Crooks, Llewellyn, the child who was inside the shop with his mother, and an elderly hotel worker were hit. The gunmen then fled the scene in the car. The 4 injured persons were rushed to the Cornwall Regional Hospital, where Crooks and Llewellyn were pronounced dead, and the child and the elderly man were admitted. The boy has since been released while the senior citizen remains in hospital in critical condition. Alleged drug traffickers to decide on U.S. extradition request. 2 men accused of being involved in a drug trafficking network operating out of Jamaica and the United States are to indicate on Monday if they will be challenging their extradition request. 50-year-old Anthony Daniels and 60-year-old Hugh Fraser were arrested in targeted anti-narcotics operations by police and military teams in St. James and St. Andrew in July. Daniels, who was arrested in St. Andrew, is wanted in America for conspiracy to distribute 5 kilograms or more of cocaine and 2 counts of distribution of 5 kilograms or more of cocaine. Fraser, who was apprehended in Montego Bay, is wanted for attempting to distribute 5 kilograms or more of cocaine. When the case was called up in the Kingston and St. Andrew Parish Court yesterday, their lawyers indicated that supporting documents related to the extradition request have been disclosed to them. But the lawyers told the court that they need time to peruse the documents and to take further instructions from their clients on the way forward. They subsequently requested that they be allowed to return on Monday. The court approved the request. Both men were remanded. attorneys at law Christopher Townsend and Chadwick Berry are representing Daniels, while Martin Thomas is representing Fraser. The two men were among 4 held in simultaneous anti-narcotics operations at the various locations in St. James and St. Andrew in July. The U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration and the U.S. Marshals Service has assisted local law enforcement agencies, including the major organized crime and anti-corruption agency, in apprehending the men. According to MOCA, the team in St. Andrew discovered approximately US $40,723, Canadian $29,190, and Jamaican $530,750 in cash, along with a licensed Glock firearm with 132 live rounds, 19 cell phones, 28 SIM cards, and other evidentiary material. In Montego Bay, detectives reportedly seized 11 cell phones, US $6,785, and a BMW motor car. Crawford proposes system for students to lobby for change in schools. Opposition spokesman on education Damian Crawford is suggesting that a system be established for students to lobby for change within the school system. He was responding to concerns raised by parents and the students about the dress code being enforced at Godfrey Stewart High School in Savannah Lamar, Westmoreland. There was a disruption at the school on Monday following reports of uniform violations. But Mr. Crawford says there should be an amicable solution to issues such as dress code in schools, and a system where students have the opportunity to lobby for change is a step in that direction.
I am proposing a system to be in place that the students can perceive their head boys and head girls and students' council as their union for change of whatever they think should be changed within the school system. I'm presuming we have reasonable principals and reasonable boards. Where that does not exist, the ministry should intervene as the final arbiter to give both sides a chance and a voice for them to put forward their opinion. There will be cases that the students lose the case, and there will be cases that the students win the case. However, to simply say that it is final and it can't do nothing, and the ministry say, well, I can't do nothing, then you have trained a set of people into the assumption that the only way for change is anarchy, and that is dangerous to our society.
Attorney Kenyatta Powell has described the stance taken by the administration of Godfrey Stewart High School on dress code as oppressive and draconian. He said school administrators should not be allowed to make arbitrary rules in a modern society, arguing that the worst kind of indiscipline is when somebody with power has no visible limits on that power and can basically do anything.
The worst kind of indiscipline is when somebody with power has no visible limit on that power and basically can do anything. Because at this point in time, we're talking about school administrators deciding, in the case of Godfrey Stewart, that Godfrey Stewart is this magical place that exists outside of reality, in which the length of schoolgirls' uniforms are an effective deterrent against adult male predators who are targeting schoolgirls. So at this point in time, we are dealing with people who are not residing in reality, and they have an excess of power, and they're clearly using that power to terrorize kids.
Treat predial larceny like high-profile crime, says Fulton. Jamaica Agricultural Society President Lenworth Fulton has suggested that the police begin to treat incidents of predial larceny as high-profile cases. Mr. Fulton said predial larceny has become more frequent in Jamaica, but reporting remains low among farmers due to fear and frustration. He added that farmers do not believe there is enough urgency from the authorities in responding to cases of farm theft, so this does not give them the confidence that their interests are being protected.
For example, when a crime is a high-profile crime, you will hear it every day on the news that the arrest has been made and the court convict or whatever the court does, you will hear that. You will hear when the arrest is made in predial larceny, but nothing more. And this does not give the farmers confidence that that things are being looked after in their interest. And one of the things that we request is that there are greater investigative effort to be made by the police to go to the end users If you're buying curry goat every day at a certain spot, that's a spot to investigate where do you get the goat from.
Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.